So, how did we end up here? Yeah, you guessed it. This is the work of YOLO Games. And we are doing this in the name of Blast Gold. And to itch the thrill and to get some exposure to the YOLO token that's inbound. Both GameFi and GambleFi are huge narratives in crypto. And for me, it was kind of a no-brainer to have exposure to a platform like YOLO on Blast. We can look at Rollbit over on ETH mainnet as a bit of a comp and an idea of the potential of market size and scale. Plus, YOLO Games has continued to bring in a ton of Blast Gold to distribute to its users. So, farmer hat on, it's time for some learning in public. Just a reminder, none of this is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. I am just in my farmer era and wanted to share with you guys what I've been doing. I have actually been on YOLO Games since they launched on mainnet, and what drew my attention to YOLO was the fact that they were one of the few big bang competition winners that are backed by some of the biggest names in the space that I respect, including FLC, Dingaling, Sirius, Zeneca, and so many others. In the first Blast Gold distribution that we saw on March 22nd, YOLO Games was awarded over 380,000 Blast Gold, the fourth largest allocation among Blast projects. And in this latest distribution, they brought in nearly 550,000 Blast Gold, which was the third largest distribution among all the Blast projects. 100% of their Blast Gold is going right back to their users, and there are actually two ways to earn Blast Gold on YOLO Games. The majority of their gold is actually going to be distributed in bulk at the end of Season 1 based on the leaderboard. So there's still time to do some grinding here. And the rest is through their game Gold Rush. Basically, for every 250,000 YOLO points that you rack up, you get a voucher for a Gold Rush spin. The prize pool for a Gold Rush is stacked with ETH, Blast Gold, and YOLO points. I actually love this distribution model, and I think it's a great way to reward active participants on the platform. So my favorite game, and the one that I've been playing the most, is Moon or Doom. Remember this lovely moment here? Yeah, so let's start there. With Moon or Doom, you're basically betting on whether the price of ETH will go up, i.e. Moon, or go down, i.e. Doom, within a 60-second time period. This has really become my go-to game to farm on YOLO because I feel like I at least have some agency over my degenning versus, letting it all be up to chance. Plus, it's a pretty fast-paced game, and I found that my win-lose ratio is generally 50-50, unless I try, getting spicy with some TA. To be clear, I know absolutely nothing about TA. But in all seriousness, I have had a lot of upswings and downswings on Moon or Doom, but I've been able to push a decent amount of volume without absolutely getting wrecked, which I love. Now, the game that you might all be much more familiar with is the title game, YOLO. YOLO is basically a winner-takes-all game of chance, with all of the players pitching in ETH, USDB, PackMoon, or other Blast native assets that YOLO Games supports. Your odds of winning are directly tied to your share of the pot. So for example, if I enter 1 ETH into a 5 ETH pot, my odds of winning are about 20%. And here's the alpha on Moon or Doom or YOLO. There's actually a multiplier on the points you can earn. You can earn up to a 20x point multiplier for entering a round early. This is uber important to factor in if you're here to farm. For example, if you're putting in 0.05 ETH, you could earn 500 points or 10,000 points with the same amount of capital. For YOLO, you can actually queue up some ETH and enter into multiple rounds and get the max multiplier on each one and just walk away from your computer versus waiting to see how the spins do each round. Now, the last game currently live on YOLO is Poke the Bear. This game is much slower pace and is a much better fit for those with a lower risk tolerance. Personally, for me, my anxiety just shoots through the roof when I play it from waiting around to see if I have to poke the bear or not, or if I'm gonna get mauled or not. So how it works is 2 to 6 players make up a cave and contribute towards a pot. Once that cave is full, the game randomly selects players one at a time to poke the bear. If you wake the bear up, you get mauled and you lose. Meanwhile, the remaining survivors split the pot. So, in addition to possibly winning some ETH, getting Blast Gold, and YOLO token exposure, there's actually this added bonus with all of the fees generated on YOLO Games going back to users. After the second Blast Gold distribution, we saw YOLO Games generating around 100 ETH in fees daily, which is insane. A portion of the fees are given back through Rakebacks, and the rest is actually given back through daily and weekly lottery draws. I've seen the daily draws go as high as 10 ETH and the weekly draws get upward to like 30 ETH, which is pretty insane. And with the lottery, you get one lottery ticket for every 1,000 YOLO points you earn. So it's pretty cool and definitely something to keep an eye on. So that's YOLO Games. And as you guys know, the majority of my portfolio is more on the DeFi side of things, but I've made sure to allocate a portion to have exposure to things like GameFi, GambleFi, meme coins, and NFTs. You know, all of the fun stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, YOLO Games has actually been a pretty fun farm for me. It's super fun to commemorate with internet friends on the L's, but also to celebrate the W's too. And again, GambleFi is just a massive sector in crypto, so I personally want exposure to it. As Blast continues to take off, I really think that the YOLO Games user base is just going to continue to grow regardless of the Blast incentives or not. I do want everyone to be aware that the games here are very gamble-esque, and I myself am having to be very disciplined with how much capital I'm allotting on YOLO Games. And if you're going to be like me and be a degenerate gambler, just please do so responsibly. And if you're feeling extra generous, consider using your girl's referral link. As you all know, you only live once. That's it for this one, guys. Good luck and have fun until the next one. Bearish or bullish, keep farming, keep learning.